G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Asshole? With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and let's get right into it. Am I the asshole for screwing my brothers out of the will? Now to start off, my mum wanted me to come and talk with her about her will, and when we talked about it, she told me that she'll be leaving me only 10% of it. Most likely, it's $100K. And she'll leave the rest of it to my two older brothers who are 34 and 32. They are mentally not all there and have the mind of about a 14-year-old, so very immature, can't focus, all of that stuff. Me on the other hand, I have a stable job that pays fairly well and I own a joint home with my mom. We bought it together because, at that time, that was the only way that we could own a home. However, thankfully, I was smart when I bought the home, as I didn't want to be stuck with my brothers because, well, they have no filter and can be assholes. So I did a right of survivorship contract with my mom. Anyway, that's where the contention lies. She says that since I'll already have the house, that I don't need the extra money. I, on the other hand, know that they will just burn through the money within a year. For example, when one of my brothers got his stimulus check, he gave half of it to a friend who was struggling. Yeah, what an idiot. Who does he think he is, burning through his money like that? So I gave her an ultimatum. If she doesn't leave me a fair share of the money, like a 33-33-33 split, I'll kick them out of the house since they've been living here rent-free for years. And then challenge the will in court and make them have to burn through the money with lawyers' fees. Anyway, in the end, because of that, she gave in and didn't change the will. But she did tell my brothers, and the first thing they did was post on social media for all of our friends and family to see. So I've been getting hateful messages this whole time. Some of my family agrees with me though, so am I the asshole? Edit, it's not about the money. It's about the fact that every moment of my life, they've always gotten more than me. I want to be treated equally this one time. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I feel like I might be the asshole because I did threaten to kick my autistic brothers out on the streets. But like, if I feel I should be given the same money because I would be letting them stay with me. And now in the comments, quote, and make them have to burn through the money with lawyer fees. You're the asshole just for that threat. You're not entitled to anything from her will. She can leave it all to a cat shelter if that's what she wants to do. My grandfather has already said that he's leaving his house to my older uncle and his money to my younger uncle, while my dad is getting nothing in the will because my dad owns the most money out of the 3 sons. Guess how my dad reacted? He said fine because he isn't an entitled brat. The fairest thing for your mother to do would be to calculate her entire net worth, including her share of your house, and split the money in a way so that you all get 1/3 of the total value of the estate. You can give notice to your brothers if they don't want to pay rent or want them out, and that wouldn't make you the asshole. But making petty threats just because you think you deserve more than your fair share does. Or, OP, if you are that concerned about them burning through their inheritance, why not offer to help them put it in a trust that you're the executor of? You can organize it so that you get a certain percentage of the trust in exchange for managing it, and your brothers get the benefit of a steady income. This way, you're the asshole. That was blackmail, and you know it. This is the actual appropriate response to the situation, or would be if OP had the slightest concern for anyone involved in this story other than them. It could even be set up in a way that the brothers would continue getting their benefits, which in the US, at least will likely stop if they have any significant assets, such as an inheritance. You're the asshole. Kicking them out of the house, and planning to make them waste their inheritance on legal fees, is insanely vindictive. Especially since you admit in the post that your brothers are mentally challenged. The house would fairly be yours to do with as you please. By all means, evict them and regain the full value, i.e., renting it out to make money, or have it to yourself for the intrinsic value of having a home to yourself. However, to plan to evict them and plot to make them burn through the money that they'd have to use to get a new place to live and survive on is cruel. If they are mentally challenged, as you say, mentality of a 14-year-old, how are they supposed to survive once your mother is gone, if not for the inheritance? Why are you even asking if it's an asshole move to try to make your mentally challenged brothers destitute when your mother passes? Regardless of the issues you have with your brothers, you should respect your mother's last wishes. Keep the house, evict them, and move on with your life. And now, on to the update. So I had some time to think about it and cool down. I realized that I had let myself become so bitter and hateful that I was willing to destroy my mentally unstable brothers. I called my mum back up and we decided to sit down for another talk. A lot of you were wondering why she was doing a will now all of a sudden, so I asked her, and she's dying. She wouldn't tell me of what, but apparently she told my brothers 2 months ago, which almost set me off again, but I was able to remain calm. I told her that I'm tired of always having to be an afterthought, and that I was always given less because of them. However, I do want to try to move past it, and because of that, I will accept 10% of 100k. However, I want them out, and I want her gone as well. She did tear up, but the thing is, I can't have them with me, and now every time I see her, I'm just reminded of all the crap that she let me go through. We plan to discuss it in further detail soon. Many of you suggested that I seek therapy. As well, I do have a lot of unresolved issues with my parents and brothers. The truth is though, every time I think of those memories, I get so angry and sad. So I'd rather just forget about those memories. I'm glad that I had this place to talk about my issues though, so thank you. And now in the comments, wait, you're kicking your mother out too? Isn't she literally dying and also owns half the house? I'd also like some clarification about this. In the last post, OP said that he paid the down payment and the mortgage. So did Mum pay into the house at all? Or was she just listed as a co-owner because she had better credit? To me, the answer makes a difference in terms of whether or not OP is the asshole. If she paid for half of the house, then it's unfair for OP to request a third of the money. If she didn't, then I think it's fair. Having said all of that, it's not great to kick your dying mother out of her home. I get needing to put space between yourself and toxic relationships, but you might regret ending things on this note once your mother is gone. Also, do you even have the legal right to kick her out? And does she have a full understanding of how wounded you feel about how you were treated compared to your brothers? I wonder if this could be a time for healing rather than revenge. He paid half of the mortgage. Presumably, his mum paid the other half. In his comments, OP mentions that when his dad died, his brothers were left mementos of their dad, but all he got was a note telling him to take care of his brothers. That, and his mum not even telling him that she was dying, but telling his brothers 2 months earlier, just screams neglect. It's no wonder why he is so bitter. Plus, not only was he expected to take care of them, but they also abused and bullied him with his own parents enabling him to. I say he's completely in the right and doesn't owe anybody anything here. I don't understand. If his brothers are not able to manage their money correctly, then why is their mother allowing them to have access to a shitload of it? Should they not get someone to keep an eye on it? And if they can't take care of themselves and she knows OP will not, it seems right to me to leave more money to them in order to not burden him. I don't know. Seems to me that some information is missing. In the original thread, he clarified that both of his brothers are autistic. His resentment towards both his parents and his brothers grew because they received preferential treatment due to their disabilities, and being told that they were receiving much more money than him might have just been the boiling point for him. On top of that, it's implied that his mother expects him to act as their caretaker after she dies and allow them to continue living with him as a condition of leaving her half of the house to him. Honestly, I get his reaction to receiving this news, and I respect his decision to distance himself from his family, but he is clearly holding on to an unhealthy amount of animosity that he needs to deal with. Our next post is titled, "Trans classmate seems fixated on me. Would it be worth reporting to our coordinator?" So we are both adults and studying in a diploma class so we can move on to a BA. I have recently been diagnosed with autism after years of being undiagnosed. I'm not low IQ, yet I have trouble understanding people who give vague indicators and then expect me to know what their problem is. connecting emotionally with people, understanding their intentions, and passive-aggressive behavior, especially because I'm straightforward with my thoughts and intentions, such as, I don't pretend to like stuff, and I don't like to make others happy, for example, shitty music. I don't do small talk because it is senseless to me, and I say clear yes and no to things. The people running our diploma program know that I'm on the spectrum. In class, I made a group on Facebook so we can share information and potentially set up group study. My trans classmate that I'm just going to call Kay joined, except she immediately started doing stuff like calling me on Facebook while I was at work, about 6 times, without asking to contact me. When I messaged her, "Why are you calling me?" she sent me walls of text for questions that she should be asking our coordinator. So I told her to email our coordinator and ignored her, especially because a lot of it was about online stuff and I'm not talking her through steps while I'm at work. In class, she approached me by standing over my desk and saying, "I'm so sorry I offended you by calling you because you're clearly upset." I actually didn't even think of the encounter until she approached me again 4 days later in a weird rage. Kay seems to not know how to read or something, because we can have the instructions shown to us in class, step by step, and she still can't do the basic online aspects of the study. Hence, even in person I'm showing her how to find links, announcements, etc., and that's when she started touching me, like leaning on me when I'm showing her things online, touching my shoulder, and commenting how nice my makeup is. I don't like being touched in general, but this was intentional because she keeps touching me in situations she doesn't need to touch me. Often she talks about being trans a lot, where a lot of the women in class congratulate and praise her, tell her how beautiful she is, that she is talented, and other generic compliments. Except, this happens every time we're in class at break times. I don't say anything because I don't think she is beautiful or special. Like, I cannot pretend that she is an attractive woman. I'm not going to call her ugly, but I'm also not going to tell her how beautiful she is every time she talks about herself either. Also, she can't follow basic instructions where I or someone else has to show her over and over again. One day, Kay started walking with me on the campus and talking about how she wonders if the men around the campus find her attractive. I said they could. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And then she started saying, "Oh, I'm just so ugly," and started staring at me, so I said, "Okay." And then she got angry and left. Another time, when at the campus cafe, I was watching study videos while drinking my coffee. Kay was there and started asking me how I feel about the weather. I said, "I feel nothing for it," and then went back to watching my videos. Then she was saying that I hate her and I'm rude, and then left again. I have no idea why she keeps approaching me and then bitching. There's people she hangs out with in the class anyway, so she can hang out with them. There's times she's just staring at me in class, and I ask her what she wants, and then she huffs and looks away, and then starts staring at me again. She asked me for my number, and I said no. She asked me why, and I said because I don't want to. Then I heard her trying to ask other classmates for my number. One day, Kay invited me to some LGBT festival thing while in class, which I thought was weird since we have less than an acquaintance level of a rapport. Also, I like kayaking and gardening. I don't like festivals. When I said that I don't want to go, Kay implied that I might have an issue with her for being trans, yet she's not even an afterthought when I leave class. The biggest incident happened last week after class, where I was walking in a secluded area of the grounds, which is a forest area. I actually had walked the wrong way, so I turned around and found that Kay had followed me there. She started swearing at me, but I just started at her and said, "What?" And then she was like, "I'm sorry," and then quickly walked off somewhere. So I just went back to the main area and then went home. I don't know what her deal is. Sometimes it feels like because I don't praise or try to walk with her, she makes extra efforts to approach me, but I'm not interested. She annoys me, and I don't want to hang out with her, especially because you just need eyes to read the material online, though she acts as if we're reading PhD level text, and she seems to think that I'm targeting her. We have nothing in common. And now in the comments, I think Kay is definitely someone with boundary and self-esteem issues. She is interested in you, but won't accept your disinterest and thinks guilt-tripping you into complimenting and paying attention to her will work. It's very juvenile. I think your best course of action would be to lay it all out there. You are not interested in being friends, and she should leave you alone. And OP replies, "This is why I probably won't be interested even further." Hopping on this comment to say, start writing your encounters with her down with dates and times so you have proof for any report you make to get to rightly leave you alone. This has the potential to blow up. Please save and document her excessive communications and interactions that you've had with her. It really shouldn't matter that she's trans because anyone who acts this way would be exhausting, but it will matter if she decides to make some kind of deal out of it. You need to document her harassment of you by going either to your professor, campus mental health center, and/or the entity on campus that would handle harassment claims. Yeah, you're being stalked. When you refuse to give your number to someone and they try to get it from others against your wishes, is a pretty big sign that they are dead set on showering you with unwanted attention. Following you into a secluded area to verbally accost you looks even worse. You have a hanger-on. Kay has fixated on you. You have to escalate your rejections. Simply tell her that you are not interested in any friendship with her or communication outside a professional capacity and keep escalating. She persists, report her. Yeah, when I got to the part where OP got followed into the woods, I really started to fear for the worst. That was such a weird and creepy thing to do. You can never know how people will react to being rejected. Please be careful, OP. And then Kay got mad at OP? For what? Catching her stalking? Someone needs to be made aware this is happening. Yup. And OP, if you do confront her, please let it be in a public setting. Not like getting over people involved in the conversation, but like where people can see you, so things can't escalate. And now on to the update. So we had class today. I didn't want to mention it originally, but our campus is on hospital grounds. Basically a classroom in a back building with a mock hospital. There's a forest area around the side that connects to a walking track. Other students from universities and general med students go there too to use the mock hospital. Anyway, we were practicing vital signs on each other. I moved into a small group, and we were actually going ahead with things like normal. We also were having casual discussions, testing each other, etc. Kay was sitting behind me with other classmates in one of the other subgroups. She kept trying to get my attention and for some reason monitor my behavior, like trying to tell me to stop talking when literally everyone was talking. I told her not to tell me what to do and then ignored her trying to talk to me, such as attempting to join into my conversations again and asking me which suburb I live in. Then she decided to rush me and take my vital signs by placing a pressure cuff on my arm. Briefly, when you were taking a manual blood pressure, you find the radial pulse and you pump until you can no longer feel it. From that measurement point, you add 30. For example, radial stops at 110, so you release and then pump it back up to 140. Release and listen to a stethoscope on the brachial pulse to find the range. I know Puritans are going to try to correct me, but it's just a rough idea. Anyway, Kay skipped all of that to crank the cuff up to the 200 plus range to basically crush my arm with the cuff, and then pretended that she didn't know that wasn't correct, despite being normal with other people. I immediately addressed it with our coordinator, and I told her about the other things that happened. It turns out Kay has been harassing other students too, harmed another student in a similar way, and she's been aggressive to multiple people. We also had a type of mediation with Kay, the coordinator, me, and an educational nurse. I can't remember her main role. Kay started ranting that she was upset because she tried to being my friend, and usually everyone likes her. She's simply asking for help. She's stressed from study, and of course I'm displaying potential transphobia. I mentioned I think she's creepy and overbearing, and then there was more of a discussion among all of us. Currently, they decided on distancing us, no touching, and Kay can't approach me when I'm alone. There will be more action taken, but this only occurred today. With the other students and I, it's like Kate is trying to bully and control us, / wants to be in charge. but is too stupid to do the work herself since she can't even follow basic tasks. It's like having a blind person spit on you and then asking you to help them walk across the street. I think potentially, in a way, she's trying to target the smarter students because she wants us to do her work. She's acting like a brute and trying to demand help from us. There were times that she would come up to me on break and just shove her laptop in my face, demanding that I show her XYZ. The other thing, it's like she gets easily slighted and then needs to react back in ridiculous ways, then goes back into pretending to be nice. Addressing other things, I am not asexual, I'm attracted to attractive men that I have actual conversations with and common ground, not some aggro biatch that demands things from me and harasses me. I'm also not disclosing with Kay that I'm autistic because it's none of her crazy business. My arm still hurts and she can go F herself. I blocked her from my group and on Facebook, and I will also not allow her to join my study groups in person, and she's never going to perform vital signs on me again. No one is taking her comments of transphobia seriously, and I think she's just using it as a last resort when she's slighted to try to make you feel guilty or comply. I hope she gets kicked out of the program. And now in the comments, glad you're taking action. Could have foreseen the transphobia accusations a mile off. Happy to hear that they aren't being taken seriously in this situation. Hope everything gets back to normal for you. Kay needs to be expelled from this program. It is horrifying to contemplate a future where she'll have caretaking, nursing, medical authority, and power over vulnerable people. Please document your injury with independent authorities, i.e., not affiliated with your campus, and also don't let your program coordinator sweep Kay's misdeeds under the rug. Hold them all accountable. Kay is either lying about not knowing how to use the pressure cuff, or your educators are incompetent. Considering the weak excuses and attempted manipulation from Kay, my money is on Kay injuring you on purpose and claiming that it was an accident. It's even more annoying because OP is being very clear about her boundaries. She is so angry by the end of the post that I can't imagine how this classmate still has the frickin' audacity to approach her. More than audacity. She had no repercussions. Not serious, at least. I've met people like this, and it's a nightmare. The need to be in everyone's spotlight all the time, not just there, but admonished and coddled and accommodated. Anything less is a direct insult and must be corrected. Like, what's wrong with you not openly loving everything about me and letting me take priority over everything? Especially if it's from someone they feel owes it to them. It is so hard to deal with, especially in a shared setting like work or school, because you can't just ignore them in person, or they will escalate the intrusion or bullying until they get acknowledged. OP has my deepest sympathies. Ugh, there was this one girl in my PhD program who got diagnosed with depression for a very valid and gut-wrenching reason for which she has my deepest sympathy, but the day that she got her diagnosis, she came to the grad study lounge and announced it to several of us. Keep in mind that this is the anthropology department, which is full of neurodivergent weirdos trying to understand the human condition. We basically all looked at her and said, "Congrats, join the club," and went back to studying because it's the study lounge. She then went to every single other group there until finally someone did the "oh, you poor thing" sympathy dance that she had been looking for. I do not miss her in the slightest. And our next post is another update to a previous story that we covered a few days ago, titled, "Am I the asshole for helping my brother run away from his wedding?" 2022 catch-up. Hi cult, we should catch whoever still wants to know what's going on with the cult up. Not to lose the rhythm, first some points. Due to popular demand, yes. Our native language is Spanish. Adoptions are final in our country and are done by the government, and we rarely get situations like open adoptions. Joe and Anna had been on waiting for a bit since they decided that is how they wanted to have kids together. I said Habemus, as in, like, when they announced the Pope. We are now 35, 33, and 29. HB was supposed to mean husband, but I love the huge idiot interpretation. It works both ways, honestly. Joe and I moved as we planned last year. The year has been pretty good, just minor drama around. Daniela can still go F herself though. Anyways, let's do the kind of bad news first. Daniela came back with a swing that we were not expecting. She is pregnant and claims to whoever would listen that Sam is the dad. Sadly for her, it is literally impossible for him to be the father since he was not even in the country when the baby would have been conceived. But she had no way of knowing that. Sam has offered repeatedly to have a paternity test done, but she refuses. Sam is safe legally, but he just feels bad for her baby. Daniela's dad did sue Sam for emotional distress of 2 of his daughters. Daniela and the one boyfriend left, but nothing happened since Joe dealt with it. Surprise, Joe is a lawyer. It is relevant info for this catch-up, I promise. Sam decided not to do anything against him since he has too much on his plate, and he feels pity for the family. Mother still insisted on meeting baby, but that will never happen. She undusted one of her favorite tactics. She has cancer. She contacted Joe and Anna through their work emails and begged them to help out with meeting the baby since she is so sick, most likely would need a transplant of something, etc. You see, this is like the 5th time that she's had cancer, but in reality, she has had cancer a total of 0 times. She loves the attention, the suffering, the drama, and all of that good stuff that bad people like to bring out of others. We never believed her, of course, but what we didn't expect was that she would make a fool of herself when she contacted Anna's mum on Facebook. Anna's mum is a lovely, good Catholic lady, so Mother must have assumed that she would be easy to manipulate. She told her about her cancer and how heartbroken she was to not meet baby. Anna's mum proceeded to ask a couple of questions about the diagnosis and treatment, which made no sense, as expected. Then she blocked her and posted the screenshots on her wall. It's like high school drama, only with older folks, and has hilarious comebacks. Baby is otherwise very happy, very healthy, and the only controversy regarding her was the question of what Rita would be called. Not by Rita, but by our mother, who claimed that Rita had no right to be called Grandma. Joe and Anna talked with Rita, and they all agreed for all intents and purposes that she is Grandma Rita, and Mother can do nothing about it. Sam is doing well. He quit his job and is starting something on his own. He's still living at the family home, renting the other house, and is kinda seeing someone. She's nice, knows about all the stuff, makes amazing cakes, knows how to knit, and we like her. So we are both positive and cautious. They are taking it slow, but it is nice to see him with someone like this. He also kept on painting rooms with Dad, and the results are, please remember that I love these two, embarrassingly funny, ridiculous, and like something you do in kindergarten. Dad got COVID, first time, and he got so scared that he decided to update his will. That's why Joe's profession is important. They wanted Sam and I to know about it when they finished it up. Everything he owns is divided in 4. His 3 kids, and the other quarter to any grandchildren. However, the family house is not to be divided and is going to be put in my name soonish. I was a bit confused, but Joe and Dad discussed it and wanted me to have it if and only if Sam agreed. He did, and is very happy about it. They didn't really offer many explanations other than it was the right thing to do. I sense a little because I'm the baby there, but it's okay. Joe bought a house in the same neighborhood as our family home, thus even if we're not in the same block or anything, they are close by. We, Matt and I, are not buying anything anymore since I'll be getting the house, as it would just make no sense. We moved to the family home, and it's been interesting, but nice. Dad has started semi-retirement and spending more days at Rita's, so it works out for everybody. Sam will of course get to stay there as long as he wants, but his murals would have to go. We are still engaged, still happy, still enjoying babysitting, and still not pregnant, but we got a cat during the spring. We're planning a December wedding and couldn't have asked for a better end of the year. So that's it. No drama, or at least not huge drama. We are moving forward and healing continuously, which is the way that we like it. Anyways, greetings from the cult, and we wish you all a good last few months of 2022. And now in the comments, didn't Daniela already try the pregnancy angle and had it publicly blow up in her face? Who the F would believe her this time? Well, that's because she actually is pregnant, which means it's easier to sell the lie. Who wants to bet she had sex with some poor guy just so she could go after Sam? OP replies, we have a theory about who the dad is, but we're waiting for the paternity test to drop that one. Is it the other sister's ex? Oh, we wish. That would actually bring it full circle. No, we actually believe it's one of her former co-workers who is like 50 and married. Wait, didn't he already say that he didn't want to be tied to a toxic family? OP says, not that we know of, but he is 50 and married. I wish my family was this close. What an awesome family to be from. I love this family so much. Such a great sense of humor. And OP says, this is lovely. Gratitude. Daniela is the biggest drama llama that I've ever seen in my life. God, it seems like this woman enjoys drama so much that if drama was a food, she'd have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and possibly midnight snack. Good to see that the cult is doing good. And OP replies, we believe she's actually obsessed with Sam. We dread the moment she realizes he is dating again, but we're taking baby steps. Thank you. We are very happy. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.